So I started recording a second ago, and then just totally scrapped everything. Just a couple minutes talking, blabbing. I just didn't like where things were going. It wasn't organized. Had to make myself a cheat sheet for my categories. I was just fumbling on my words. So reset, we're good to go. Gonna do a it's a July collection update video. It's the first. It's been about 2 months since I've done a video. For June, I did just a post showing all this stuff, you know, just laid out. So I've got 3 cases here. Got a couple things set up here that are, well, hopefully not going to be part of the collection sooner than later. And yeah, let's just dig in. I think for my list, I don't know if I'm going to go in an order or if I'm just going to start grabbing things from cases. I never know how I want to do that. Just go by what I feel, I suppose. So first, yeah, let's do top tier. So row 1, top tier, I'd lose sleep over it if I lost it or didn't have it. It's something I EDC basically every day. And I mean, it doesn't get any better for me. I would also buy these fidgets again if they were lost. Like, I would go on the hunt that day as soon as I was confirmed it was lost. So the wrapped, 100% out of my whole collection, this is the fidget. If I could only have one, truly only had the option of owning one, I would have a wrapped. Not even just because this one has zirconium and makume. It's purely just because how good of a fidget and slider the wrapped is. It's the plates. The plates make it superior. They're gonna last a lifetime. And they always work. They don't gum up. They don't do anything weird. They're very, very durable. And the sliding action is unmatched. Steel smooths steel. It's just as simple as that. Ergonomics are great. You can build one however you want. Jonas does amazing work on the custom orders. You can change the internal magnet layout. It's just so versatile, modular, so well thought out, well done. I'll knock it on one thing, and it's maybe just not being the most aesthetically pleasing design. Like, you can see the plates and where it intersects and locks, but at the same time, when you appreciate these plates for their design, how they're shaped, how there's only a couple contact points. I don't have a light here. I don't. Yeah, I do. Hang on. This is worth demonstrating. The plates are concave, so they only touch on the 4 corners. Like, literally just the 4 corners. They're sculpted, and that makes all the difference. These are not just 2 flat pieces of metal sliding together. They're shaped, sculpted, have very gentle slopey curves, and that's what makes a lot of the key difference here. And this would only work with steel because you have, you know, 4 or 8, whichever way you look at it, high pressure points. Yep. It doesn't get any better. So this is always my number 1 ever since I got it back in November. It just is. Next would be my Top C Spark in zirconium from Metal Toys DZ. I absolutely adore this thing too. This has been in row 1 as far as my fidget rankings go ever since I got it back in September or something last year. There's a video on the unboxing. Gone through maybe 3, 4, 5 different tuning configurations with the balls and springs. I have always had ceramic balls inside the whole thing. Recently got the accessory pack. I've got it set up with, I think I've got 2 1/8 inch balls, 1 3mm ball, and then some combination of conical springs and soft springs. I can't remember. It's literally been a couple days ago that I swapped through every combination that I could basically think of that I haven't tried, and I landed here. So I really just can't remember, but I like it. It's got very precise clicks. It's not mushy in between, but it doesn't take a lot of force to use it either. I the top C. So much so that I got the PEI one. I knew it would be an easy sell if I didn't like it. I'm not usually a huge fan of plastic. This is one of 2 plastic fidgets in the collection. The other one's going to be probably a row 4 fidget, so if that tells you anything. I usually don't like plastic, but this mechanism in Ultim also upgraded it with all glass balls. I don't know if you can see that. Haven't done a video since then. And even the balls that are on the springs in the center here, those are glass. It has such crisp clicks now. It's not too loud. It's very easy to use. Slightly easier as far as spring tension than my Zerk one, but it is louder and it's crispier. Like, I don't know how else to put that. Like, I don't know. It's just very tactile. It's very, very good. I would definitely buy one of these again. Top tier. That brings me to the 1PAL, Liu Chu something. I still don't know the real name. EJH is the maker. So mine is great. This is the Stonewash Zirconium. I don't know if this is like one of the first runs or whatever, but man, some of the exotic runs that came over here to the States recently, the white superconductor, the Makume, I don't think the normal superconductor, and maybe some of the other ones, the stop pin screws that are on this plate that interact with these 2 slots, the tapped holes people are having stripped screws and stripped threads without even tightening them. So definitely some QC issues on those, and maybe some tolerance issues with the thickness of the center plate. So it's rubbing between this crack where on mine, grab the light again, you can see there's a gap. People were asking me if I had contact between my plates, and I don't. So I got a good one. If you get a good one, highly recommend. I upgraded from a 3.5mm ball that's on the spring to a 4mm, and it comes with a steel ball, and I changed it to ceramic. And I also swapped out the default spring and went to the 2 soft springs that are included. I twisted them together, you know, just like they're 2 conical springs, so they just screw together. And it made it about twice as stiff, of course, as the soft springs, but a little bit lighter than the single stiff spring that is default. So really liking this setup. I EDC this, usually with the wrapped in a double leather slip. You can even see the imprints. Wrapped, 1PAL. I carry them daily together. They fit really good in that pouch, and they just make a good pair anyways. Okay, on to spinners that are top tier, I think, because I don't have everything else that's in my collection here is going to be probably, at least as far as things that I EDC, they're going to be for row 2, because I do EDC them and I love them, and I would probably purchase again at the right deal or right circumstance, but there still is something maybe about them that I could nitpick or don't love, or I maybe wouldn't lose sleep over losing them or not having them in the collection. The fuse from Cami, I'd be devastated if I didn't have it in my collection. Let me move this guy. Thought it would be kind of cool to have this running the whole time. I'm running out of space. I'll pull everything down before I get the whole table full here. So yeah, I would lose sleep over the fuse. I can't say enough good things about it. I literally laugh every single time I pick it up every day for the first pickup of the day. It's already been in my EDC this morning. When I was walking, I was ripping this thing. It's just so ergonomic, fast. The weight distribution is perfect. It still slaps your fingers, but it's not too heavy. It's just so good. Tungsten fuse is a dream. The Flux from Spin Designs by Cami, also incredible. So incredible that I actually have 4 of these. I have another brass body one that is out on review right now. Currently, Sean Dumas has it. Osman Salmanov, he just finished his review, and Melanie at EDC Fidget finished her review. Everybody's loving these things so far, it seems. So, I mean, they're good. They are my favorite spinners ever. These and the Fuse. I'm not sure if I could pick a favorite between the Flux and the Fuse. I don't know. And I'd be really mad at anybody that forced me to choose a favorite. Because, man, they're both incredible. I'm even just going to put them all up here. And this one with the tungsten balls and my Makume plugs for the oopsie balls. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, amazing. What an amazing spinner. Put this one up here, too. The one I've got out on loan right now, I sent with stainless steel balls and titanium beads. So that's why this one's sitting naked. And I don't have stock buttons for either of these, so I also haven't made any for myself yet. More spinners. FocusWorks Axis Micro Mini in tungsten. Yep, this has been a top tier tri spinner for me from the start. I EDC it because it is small. Fits in a leather slip really good. It's not overly heavy, but for its size, being tungsten, of course it is heavier than expected. Usually you see something that's small, you don't expect it to weigh this much, so very satisfying to use. Recently put a full ceramic bearing in it with a ribbon stainless steel cage, so not the most common full ceramic bearing, but in this particular spinner, perfection. It feels really good. You got a nice whir sound, good feedback. At first it was a little rough feeling. This is a press fit spinner, so you really gotta, it takes force with a bearing tool to actually press the bearing into the hole. It's not a slip fit with glue like a lot of spinners, so some bearings can deform when you squish them into one of these small holes. And they don't perform anymore. The button will come to a hard stop. Like, it'll be like, because there's so much force on the bearing. This one, it's perfect. I love it. I carry it all the time. Another tri spinner that fits that. Oh, Conceptual Designs Amaryllis in tungsten. Got a Kovu hair. Top tier. It's an amazing tri spinner. Being just the body itself is just over 100 grams. It is so fast. I can spin it as fast as I can spin the Fuse, and I'm judging this based on watching warp videos, and you can, see them change directions or appear to change directions with the wagon wheel effect, and RPMs dictate the visual effect that's happening on the video. And if I can get it to change directions twice, that tells me that I'm getting up there in those RPM ranges that my hand is capable of generating. I can do it with lighter spinners easily, but I can even do it with this heavier 100-gram spinner. And I can't even do it with some lighter spinners, like the Makume Dark EDC Monolith that was in my collection that I sold, that bar spinner. In my opinion, that was a very slow spinner. I could not generate the speed that I wanted, especially for it being only 60 grams or something. I should have easily been getting 2 warp directions on video, and I could not. Simply couldn't. So there's something about the Amaryllis, the weight distribution. It's heavy enough, but it still has the ability to take power and generate speed. Got an epic full ceramic bearing in it. Not the kind that was in here. It's also the black ceramic, but this one has the white peak, like plastic type of bearing cage. Look at this. I'm just fighting it, trying to make it slow down. It's just cruising. I got a batch of 20 bearings. So far, I have 4 that are still in the little plastic wrapper. So I've used 16 of them, or given them to other people or something. And in my opinion, this particular one is the best of the 20 so far. And I've understood now that bearings are not going to be perfect forever. They can wear out, they can get dirty, they can get damaged. It just happens. So I've already let go of whenever this one is no longer going to be so perfect. But I'm still going to do what I can to keep it this way forever because, man, this has been a top tier spinner ever since I've got it also. But this makes it even better. If you can find an Amaryllis, I would highly recommend one, but man, they are really, really hard to come by. Company's out of business, got to find them on the secondary, and they were only made in very limited runs back in like 2017 or 18 or something. All right, on to row 2. So these are things that I will also be EDCing. That I do EDC or carry, still goes in the fanny pack on the daily. I even have like leather slips for a lot of these. The Lati Mechanic C in zirconium with the brass ring. The C means it's the smooth design. So this is a ring spinner magnetic haptic clicker kind of thing. I've got it set up right now with 3 internal magnets. It can house up to 8 or 0, any number in between. I've got it currently set up in positions 1, 4, and 6. I'm not sure if it matters too much on the positions, just more so maybe the magnet counts. But I've got good, I don't know, good is a bad word, satisfying haptic clicks. It's not super forceful or anything. Like, you can do it quick, but it'll also free spin for a second and then slow down. Like, I'm having to do a pretty good bit of force to do that. Sometimes I've handed this fidget to new fidgeters and they're, I'll do this and then hand it to them and they'll put it on their finger and they're like, how did you make it spin so fast? And I'm like, you just gotta give it some force. Just take some practice and confidence, I think, to know what your own body is capable of. Slight learning curve. But man, this fidget for driving, for walking, it's enjoyable. It's not top tier, but it definitely fills a role. Oh, turn this back on. Definitely fills a role within the collection. Wish I prop that up like that. Let's do that. So I really don't want to be testing. I just want to keep it going. This is about the distance that I found this thing to be accurate. Maybe a little further away. Yeah, that's about right. This isn't a loud fidget at all. I like that it's smooth. They've got a bunch of different designs and milling patterns on these, but the smooth one is the most satisfying for me because of how aggressive I am with it. I really like to do the fast spins, so it takes a lot of pressure from between my fingers to make it do that. These are going for sometimes $80 right now in the Facebook groups. I mean, it'd almost be crazy to not have one of these in a collection if you even semi-enjoy fidgets in general. Lati Puffer Crash. Got this one yesterday, but I am not new to this fidget. If you watch that video, you'll know you're going to be hearing the same thing now, but this is a fidget that I tried when they first came out. So it's been 13 months ago now that I think I first tried one at Blade Show 22. Dean and Adam were selling these at the show at their table for, the All Things Spinning, Surplus Depot, and those guys. I was new to fidgeting then too. I only had maybe 1 or 2 things in my collection. I think at the time, maybe only even 1 thing in my personal collection that I had purchased. The other things were gifts. So I didn't get this thing. I was like, man, it doesn't do anything. It's just buttons that click. But I wasn't a big fidgeter back then. So then it was that was in June of 22. And then around September or October, Adam was back over again hanging out. We hang out play with fidgets and stuff. And I grabbed his Puffer Crasher and we were just kind of talking, and then I realized that I was not putting it down. And what it was about it that I like so much, look at like the pressure points. I like these sharp edges. They're not sharp, but if they're like ceramic or whatever they are, they have a very sharp radius. It's not going to cut you, but it's an edge, you know? So when I push really hard, oh, it's just so nice. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just a pressure point. Like, I like that sensation. So I click and then press really hard past the click so I can get that imprint. I'm not trying to get the imprint, but I just want enough pressure, and I'm trying to show y'all how hard I like to press it. It's awesome. It just totally fills a roll, kind of like the mechanic. The Spore, this is actually going to be a row 4 Fidget, so it's tied together right now just because I'm trying it out. I kind of like doing this, but then again, this being on the end here, carrying the puffer crash, I think I will use this leather slip that I just have for it. But then it's in my bag and I've got this like wrecking ball flying around. I don't know how I feel about that. It could bump into other Fidgets or get damaged itself, so I may just end up taking off the Spore since I don't love it that much. But it also makes sense since we got Zerk and Stainless Lati be little Fidgets, you know? Like, they match and go together. And it feels good when it's like this. It just comes down to the questionable carry methods that I guess I'm using. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So I'm going to put this kind of like that. So that's for 1, 2, try to do 3, and then 4. Yeah, that'll be good. Because the Spore was a gift, so it's special. That was actually a gift from Adam. But row 4 is also things that I don't really EDC. I guess though I am now because it's tied to this. And also not things that I would spend my own money on to add to my personal collection. Yeah. All right. Man, this is going to be a long video. I'm chatty today. On to still on row 2. So the Mackie CP5. This one seems to surprise a lot of people, especially Sean, if you're watching. Congrats, by the way. You got a big week coming up. So this is a mechanical slider. Got 8 clicks up and down. It's got 3 layers. Central plate. On my central plate, just under the part that is still covered, I have added slide tape, which takes up some of the tolerance in this thing so it's less rattly. And then the ball plungers, you know, the little spring thing that's in the CP5 that gives it its mechanical aspect. I swapped those out from the 2 extras that were included with the 1-PAL. It came with some that had steel balls and were a little stiffer. The CP5, whenever I was gifted it, came from Adam. It came with softer ones with ceramic balls. So these stiffer ones with steel balls, they just make this so I just like it more. I don't know how to say it, how it's different. So I guess a little stiffer and change the feedback to be a little harsher. Stronger, maybe, not harsher. And yeah, I like it. I definitely carry it sometimes. I'd probably try to buy another one if I lost it. It would have to be at the right deal or something. But I pick this up a lot. Like, multiple times a day, especially if I'm just like watching TV, because it is a mindless Fidget that has a lot of action in a short travel, if that makes sense. Like 8 clicks and all the plate rattling that's going on, you can just feel a lot going on. So it's enjoyable for me to use. I like it, even though it's not a top tier. It's definitely in a weird spot, but it's definitely a row 2 for me. On to some more mechanical stuff. Metal Toys DZ Top D, deep fried dough stick, and zirconium. So we can do the sideways push with the zirconium plates, the newer design. So the honeymoon phase is over for the Top D. I have been EDCing it since I uploaded the video on it. I think it's been almost a month. And I still pick it up and play with it a lot, but I don't EDC it. Why? I don't know. I guess the honeymoon phase is over. I don't love it. It's a unique mechanism. I still enjoy picking it up, but, you know, when I've got all this stuff to carry, yeah, I don't know. Enjoy once per day. Read. I'm not EDCing it. I think I may be getting ahead of myself reading my list over here. This might be a row 3 fidget for me right now. So like I got my little cheat sheet written. I at least pick it up once a day. If I were to buy it again, it would need to be a bargain or different materials, and I rarely EDC it. So recently, yeah, that's fallen down here. I actually got a little ahead of myself. So we're gonna put it row 3, I guess under the other mechanical stuff, right? That's interesting that, maybe the CP5, I don't really EDC it either. I'm gonna bump it down. These are in the same category to me right now. I don't EDC the CP5. I pick both of these up probably just as much, but usually from the case, and then they go back in the case. Yeah, that makes more sense. That's more how I use these for sure. So that's all the mechanical stuff besides this, I guess. This too, I probably enjoy it once a day and don't EDC. This is a billet spin gambit with the Makume center coin that I made for it. The outer body is made of zirconium. Very unique fidget, multi-fidget. This is what I enjoy doing with it the most. Clicking it out, doing a circle or a couple circles, and clicking it back in. I mean, that's all it is. There's no magnets or anything. It uses a radial spring that interacts with this concave groove, and it just the circular spring hugs that groove, and whenever it's going in and out, the spring is just opening and closing just a little bit. So yeah, super simple. I don't EDC it anymore. I used to. I don't know. I think these outweigh it as far as size and usability. It's also a little loud sometimes. You know, you can't, it's hard to use this fidget in any quiet manner that's satisfying, at least. Like you can click it in like that, but you got to be really gentle with it. So that's not satisfying, right? So I enjoy it, don't EDC it. Also row 3. So I just wanted to get all the mechanical stuff out of the way since I was, I don't know, kind of on a mechanical rant there. Onto some spinners. This might surprise some people. Stainless steel Thing V2 for Modus Works. Got a full ceramic bearing. Got some zirconium buttons that I made for it. They're a little thicker than the stock ones, a little more dishing. I mean, it's an awesome spinner. But for some reason, I'm not EDCing it anymore. I think just because I'm obsessed with these, honestly. I got these, like, got my hands on the flux and the fuse very shortly after the Thing. I mean, it's not that this is a bad spinner. Not at all. It's really good. It spins for a long time. It's comfortable. The physics are great on it. The machining is great. The design is good. This is just subjective here. I love the flux and the fuse. Aesthetically, how they feel. Oh, we got turned off up here. Guess it doesn't matter for spinners, but maybe if someone's paying attention, they'll be grateful, right? I mean, yeah, look at it. It's perfect. But it's just not finding its way in my EDC, really. Not every day, at least. So I gotta think about that. It does get heavy use. I still pick it up a good bit. It's not gonna be a row 1, because yeah, I don't know. It is a little hot spotty with my hand size and geometry. I get the best rips whenever I press on that corner, and can you see that corner imprint right there on my skin? Just is what it is. It's not a bad thing, but if I'm gonna use it all day, it does hurt after a little bit. It hurts my contact point and will end up hurting my tendon, but the tendon thing is any spinner that I use all day. Doing too many power rips. So yeah, I think I might actually put it in row 2. Ooh, I feel something gritty under the CP5 there. Look at me touching metal on metal. I hate doing that. I'll organize here. All right, on to the Synergy. Synergy's awesome now. I made the ultimate buttons for it, so it can table spin now. Couldn't do that on the stock buttons, and can table roll now. So Synergy is now, I mean, it's awesome. I'm not EDCing it because this isn't mine. This one's from Sean Dumas. He's got me making some buttons for it out of a 2-color Makume. That order's coming in pretty soon. Mike Sackmar's working on it. Really glad I'm getting to play with the Synergy. I do think I want one, maybe out of stainless steel, titanium, zirconium. Because, I mean, I do love patina metals, but for some reason on spinners, not as much. Mainly because of the kind of feedback and sound that I can get out of stainless, titanium, zirconium. It's just a preferential thing. Perfectly balanced. Being able to roll the balls on the end, definitely satisfying. Very unique aspect of these. Still want to try a hive. Wes, if you find your way into this video, I want a hive, man. Let's do another run. If I were to get one, yeah, it would be in other materials. I don't want to EDC it, so I got to give myself a little leniency on where I place it here. I think because I would get it in other materials, that would have to be row 3, because there's multiple nitpicks. It's an awesome spinner, but for this particular one, I would just want different materials. Stainless steel torque bar with a copper button I made for it. That'll also fit the Thinema thing. That's what I made it for originally, but then I was like, oh wait, torque bar and the Thinema thing both have thin center bodies around the bearing where the bearing protrudes past. I loved this spinner. I never thought I would. It was a gift. So, gifts are awesome, but whenever it's a gift that you actually really love and would buy again if you lost it, If I did buy another one again, though, I would like it to have no holes. But it's also cool this one has holes and is one of like the full-on originals. The bearing I got in here is the same one that's in this guy. That full ceramic with a stainless steel ribbon cage for the balls. Not a peak cage. So slightly softer sound. Very smooth. Good spin times. I EDC this one quite often. For sure. Probably more than the Thinema thing. I just like the bearing combination and button combination more. It's just is what it is. Alright. Ooh, I need to open up some of these other boxes here. That's going to get me all kinds of disorganized. That's all gifts over there. Let's get my wife's collection here. Let's see. 42 Cosmo XXS rotation slider in zirconium. Blasted zirconium. It's a great fidget. Magnets do come out. I think I've got them all fixed to this point. I've got one of the plates has tape on it now. And, I mean, it's a good fidget. My wife enjoys it. I think mainly because of the size. But it's expensive for what it is, and I think there are just better options out there. If you like the size, then I could see maybe buying one of these, but let's see. Special, loved, enjoy at least once a day. No. Buy it again on a bargain, maybe. I don't know. Since it's my wife's, I think she might, if it was a bargain or something, she would miss it if we didn't have it anymore. On to top C. This one's, I mean, it's really good, but again, would only buy it again in different materials. Probably wouldn't choose the brass, given if there were options or something. Yeah, definitely. That's gonna go here. I'm gonna try to turn this guy some. That there. Yeah. All right. Let's get out 3 gifts here that I know would probably buy a stainless steel CP3 Nano again. I don't know. It's a solid fidget. It's not too loud. And the limited run artwork of the Find Your Trail version, it's very cool. Really like these. Glad it was a gift. But I would maybe even maybe even buy it again, yeah, for the right deal or something. So it's gonna go here. That brings me to the 01 Pod 2. This thing is loud. Look at that. Probably the loudest fidget that's, God, my ears. Literally covering my ears right now. This was a gift recently from Dean. Gave it to my wife. I actually felt bad, but I said no thank you. It's too loud for me. Like, thank you, but no thanks. Super, super loud. It's a good fidget, but I would not, I don't like it. It's so loud. The action's really good. Probably hold my ears here too. This is the Ultim one. Man, 96, 98. I mean, it does hurt my ears. I'm literally using my left shoulder and my left hand to cover both of my ears. Good action. I love the opposing center magnets on the outer plates, so you get a big jump, even though, you know, this would normally be like a 2-click because you can see the magnets inside. But having opposing, you get a big jump. It's pretty cool. And lastly, we got another pod. This is the first pod, the Sorry one. Not quite as loud, but still loud. So this lives in my wife's collection. I don't ever touch these things. I'm just gonna literally put them all back here and give both my hands back. All right, this case out of the way. Another gift, Lottie chess pawn. Man, Adam, Dean, you guys are, you are too much for me. I can't keep up. I can't reciprocate how I wish to reciprocate. Adam again, pause maze slider. Magnets are super weak, but this is one of my first fidgets. At the time, I liked soft and quiet. This totally fits that bill. It's actually pretty terrible because of that. Lottie MTAC collab slider, Nook. Each plate slides independently. Each plate comes off. It's just held on with the magnets. You got little stop pins and slots. Simple, effective, chunky, a really terrible weapon. Freaking Nugs literally crack me up. Yeah, look at all this Lottie stuff. I'm really not even like a Lottie fan, really. A lot of their designs I don't like the actual look of. Like, sorry, not sorry. ATS Spyro coin. This is a prototype in zirconium. This is actually one of my first fidgets. So I guess we're getting down to row 4. Give some clarification, even though I've already been dumping things down here. They're special, they're gifts, they're loved, they're things that I don't EDC, and they're things that I wouldn't personally buy with like my own money for my own collection. I would just, of course, rather put the money towards something closer to the top. Looking around here, got cases all over the place. The Mackie Captain, also a gift from Dean. This one's zirconium and either stainless or titanium. I'm not sure, don't remember. I actually picked this up a lot, so I'm gonna row 3 this one, even though it was a gift or special. For the right deal, or maybe even a copper one, which I recently discovered, I could get this in a different material and add it to my collection if I lost this one or didn't have it anymore or something. Because it's a good spinner, it's got good ergonomics. I really have thought about making some other buttons for it because, well, the writing is awful, but the design is also not attractive. But the shape of the bar itself is, I mean, it's really good. It's dynamic because it's unbalanced whenever you spin it certain ways. If you get like 1 or 2 arms to come out different, maybe you can see it there. The arms on that side are extended right now, just because of how I spun it. The centrifugal force shot them out, but for some reason on this side, they didn't, even though that's the ones I was holding. So yeah, it's spinning around with a a jump, a wobble. There it goes. And then when it slows down enough, they jump back in. So I don't know. I mean, it's fun. Literally just fun. I don't know if I've ever EDC'd it in this actual fanny pack over here. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that was cool. There's, you know, I forgot to show that aspect. On the arms, they slide on all these. There's 2 magnets and 2 balls that allow it to slide. You can just barely see the tracks for the balls there. So it gets close to this, the intact with the magnets. I love it. Magnets are neat. They're a pain in the butt, but they're neat. Wii Knife SP01. This is an OG spinner. I'd buy one again for the right deal, but I don't EDC this thing. I mean, look at all these other beautiful bar spinners I've got. This one's made of titanium, so there's not a lot of weight. I mean, it's like super lightweight. It doesn't really slap. It doesn't slap, actually. Like, it just stops whenever my fingers get in the way. Can't feel any inertia. Has hardly any inertia at all. So, it's cool. I enjoy it at least once a day, probably. But I don't carry it. Another gift. I would like one of these in tungsten. I really like this M390 steel and the ceramic bearing. And I'm also going to make myself some Ultim buttons for it. I think that could be really cool. I just had that random thought the other night and remembered just now. It's going to be cool. I might actually really jump this up on my list. But for now, we're going to go row 3. Because I would like it in different materials. But it does get picked up at least once a day. Oh yeah. Got the ATS bead clicker coin. This is a mechanical one. It's kind of cool. So you can see on the sides, you can see the bores that house the springs and balls. So on this top disc on this side, maybe you can see it right there in the middle. There's a divot, a detent. So the balls get pushed up by the spring into the detent. And that's how it works. You got 4 positions. That's how these work. That's how all these mechanical fidgets work. There's balls, springs, and detents. Show that here. Detents on the backside. But at least on this coin, you can see it working. The ball moving up and down. Pretty neat. I think mechanical stuff is really cool. I like it more than magnets personally. You don't have to worry about ferrous metals getting stuck on it. You can change settings essentially endlessly. Get different feels, different feedback. Just works good for me. Magnets will always feel like magnets. You can just change the strength for the most part. With the haptic stuff, you can change the strength, but you can also change the feel drastically depending on the ball type, the ball size, even different springs. Like they work in harmony together versus magnets are just stronger or weaker. That's probably the difference why I like mechanical so much. You do have vastly more options. I don't EDC it, probably pick it up once a day. I don't know if I'd buy it again. It was a gift, it's special. So I mean that's the collection right now. Beyond the collection, go with this crazy box again. So here's my AC/EDC stainless steel stamp. I've decided to sell this one. If you've made it this far, hit me up if you're in the States. I'll ship it to you for 80 bucks. It's got the Rick and Morty Pokemon interdimensional stamp or patch on the stamp. Oh, and it's sealed because I have a vacuum sealer and I literally just wanted to see if I could seal it back up. This is number 710, same one in my unboxing video from a month or so ago. Still got all the accessories and everything, all the packaging. It's currently set up on just the balls only, so you got 4 clicks up and down. And all the accessories and everything are still in here. So yeah, 80 bucks if you're in the States. I'll ship it to you Monday. It's currently Saturday morning. So yeah. And then go back over this. If you watched the Puffer Crash video, thanks. Love you guys. I'm gonna reiterate here though. Got the Gao Cube here. Once we hit 500 subs on the channel, I'm gonna give this away to one of y'all. I'll probably do one of those videos where you just gotta comment on the video and I'll make a list, do a random number generator, and yeah, winner will just email me with their shipping address. If you're in the States, I'll cover shipping because that's only a couple bucks. If you're international, I'll cover a couple bucks of it, but the rest will have to be on you. That shit's expensive. Gal Cube is a solid slider. I really like it. I'm gonna include all the extra magnets and the little clickers to go into the plates. But I just don't find myself picking it up very much anymore. I definitely don't EDC it. The wrap just wins out all the time. So, I don't know. I had the thought, since I'm getting close to 500 subs, I'd love to say thank you to you guys. So, the Gal Cube is a solid fidget, especially a good starter fidget. It'll last forever, but it can really, it's a great introduction to this awesome fidget world, I'd say. So yeah, that's everything. This is my top tier. I'd literally lose sleep, cry, be devastated if I lost any of these. And I would have to replace them, like, right away. I really, really would. These ones, I EDC them, yeah. If I lost them, I wouldn't lose sleep. Probably be pretty bummed. Would definitely try to find them again at the right deal. Maybe this one in copper. Maybe not in stainless. So that could make it down row 3, but this one's also special because it's customized. This one I would buy again at the right deal, but I would like it maybe with no holes. And I am going to order a full Makume standard torque bar, no holes, sooner than later. I've already talked with Scott about that. I'm really looking forward to that one. That'll be a top tier fidget for sure. I'll carry that all the time. Row 3 stuff, I either pick it up at least once a day or would change the materials. Very rarely EDC'd. Definitely spent my own money on it. Wouldn't necessarily spend money on them again. If I did, they would have to be cheaper, or a bargain, or a trade, or something like that. And then the bottom is gifts, special fidgets, things that I would not want to ever spend my own money on if I had the choice of, other things. It's not saying that they're bad fidgets, it's just when you're curating a collection like this, everything up here is just better than everything down here. Just what it lines up to. But yeah, thanks for watching. I think I'll wrap it up here. It's not too long of one. It was definitely a little rambly in the beginning, but I think it wrapped up all right. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it, pack everything back up, and go about my day. Thanks guys, see ya.